Hey, Kevin from Sampi and Miku here again. As always, thank you for checking out my newest video. Before anybody is wondering, the plushies that used to be like over there, didn't throw them away or anything like that. They're just in a different part of my room. I just needed a bit more space here on my own couch. And those plushies here, while they're amazing and cute, they're not always there. Don't you worry, I have my space. So, Magical Mirai 2020 was a very weird one. First one I couldn't attend in a long time. We all know why, of course. Well, it's a review time. I try and skip more of the formalities. The intro coming up is already pretty long, so let's get to it. Magical Mirai 2020. How was it?
Magical Mirai 2020. What a weird one it has been. Well, to be honest, it was quite amazing it was even held in the first place. For the last few years, ever since 2014, I was lucky enough being able to attend this most magical place on earth to me, and I certainly had plans to be there again for this one too. But with Japanese entry bans surrounding the virus, it was just not possible. Nevertheless, let's try and forget about this and go about the review as usual. The event was split into two cities again, Osaka and Tokyo. The entire event was themed around a Natsumatsuri or summer festival for Osaka in August and a winter festival for Tokyo in December. On top of this, after celebrating Luca the year prior, Meiko got her time in the spotlight, as the event would celebrate her 15th anniversary. After some uncertainty whether or not the event would have to be cancelled, the Osaka one would be pushed back to late November, retaining its summer theme, and was held in Index Osaka as the years prior. Tokyo would be held as planned just before Christmas, but same as Osaka introduced many restrictions. There were no bans for foreigners or anything, but since nobody was able to enter Japan, they decided not to sell tickets officially to overseas people anyway. So what usually would have been an event celebrating Miku's culture with people all over the world would be a Japanese only event for the first time pretty much ever. Quite sad, but at least it was not cancelled. Other measures included limiting the venue's capacity to 50%, so based on the last few years I assume every concert held around 4,000 people only this time around. To make up for this, they increased the numbers of concerts per day from 2 to 3, but had to shorten the runtime from the usual 2 hours to just 90 minutes. A shame, but understandable. But probably the saddest thing for a concert setting would be the rule to ban cheering in the concerts, so the usual kick-ass atmosphere surrounding Japanese concerts would not be there and make everything seem a bit depressing. Still, I'm sure Japanese fans who still made it had a fantastic time, and they would still support Miku with their hearts and souls, as well as their glow sticks. The expo surrounding the concerts would return, also having attendance restrictions making it quite a bit more empty, and also had strict entry checks. Nevertheless, a place to worship Miku with amazing statues of Miku and Meiko, the star of this meetup because of her anniversary, as well as many booths selling merchandise. The creators market where one could meet producers as well as workshops and some extra events. So regardless of everything, I'm glad this event was pulled off with most aspects everybody knows and loves still in place. 6 days of Miku love between Osaka and Tokyo, and according to official reports, only 2 reported incidents of COVID contraction with swift recovery soon after. Let's have a look at the Blu-ray package I will be reviewing. I got the limited edition without any pre-order bonuses. As always, the whole thing is neatly packaged in a hardcover box, complete with a traditional Japanese styled binder called obi. The front has Miku in her beautiful winter design made for the event with the chibis of the other ones surrounding her. The back shows the other side of the event, Miku and Meiko in a stunning summer getup. The case has the same design on the front as well as information on the disc on the back, while the main disc has Miku in her winter design and Meiko's summer one on the bonus disc, exclusive to the limited edition. Inside you find a commemorative postcard with a symbolic ticket for the event inside, both for Osaka and Tokyo. Neat! Of course, not missing is the beefy full-color booklet, also having both the winter and summer designs. It contains photos of the expo and the live shows, making of designs of the theme songs as well as Meiko's song, a showcase of the Meiko statue, and the 5 different set lists. On top, we also get a quick manga, some extra illustrations and the message "See you next year," which yes, I hope a lot will come true. Before we get to the main event, the concert, let's discuss the bonus content found, which we get plenty of. Apart from the songs not performed in the main concert for both Tokyo and Osaka, the latter only including the limited edition, which I will be briefly reviewing at the end of the main concert this time around rather than in between the concert like usual, we get a focus on singer as they call it, a selection of some songs where you get to see the entire performance of Miku and her friends of a song without any camera cuts. For some reason, these videos have a border and aren't full screen, a puzzling decision. As a small extra, we get the different concert intro announcements done by the Krypton vocalists that didn't make it on either the main concert or the bonus songs discs. Yes, each of the 6 got to announce the start of the concerts on separate days. Moving on to the bigger extra content, a very interesting special digest video for both Osaka and Tokyo. It shows the producer Otomania going over Osaka's empty expo, presumably after the event had ended, together with Meiko's voice provider Meiko Haigo. Kobayashi Onyx in Tokyo is even joined by Miku's voice Fujita-san. Very cool to see. Another comment on the expo. It does look a bit emptier this year, and that is not because of when this was filmed or because of restrictions. Still always fun to be there, and I'm sure 2020 was not any different. A nice bonus anyway, showing the different drawings, workshops and entry areas in a lively manner, but not the booths, presumably already having piked up shops. For more infos on those, check out my virtual event report I made a few months prior to this video. This bonus feature continues with interviews about the event and their songs for the producers Utsup, Buzz G and Pinocchio P for Osaka, and Bokadoro P, Hari P and Shinda for Tokyo, the latter being responsible for the contest winner in 2019. A nice bonus, but a shame they still won't include English subs for this or even Japanese ones, even if I personally can make sense of the main topics of the most part. Also, I can't help but wonder every single year how they always seem to be finding the most sad looking rooms ever for these interviews. The last bonus is the main event, being a mini documentary of this year's Mirai. This has been a bonus for years, but it is nice that each year they seem to be showing different aspects. This year starting with the prep work for the event beginning in January in Sapporo, with interviews of people in charge, like Ito-san himself, and even for the first time ever a sneak peek into how their performances get motion captured. Super interesting. Even more so how they even show an emergency conference after COVID got pretty bad, and the ultimate decision to still hold the event. After all, so many people would be waiting for it. It shows how they all worked their hardest making it possible even with this major problem, gives background on the band and how even they got temperature checked before going to the venues. Just lots of cool info on this year's event under weird circumstances. All in all, super cool bonus features. Okay, these intros are really getting out of hand. But this was a unique meetup, so there was lots to say. Let's get into the main event. Let's review the final day's concert. Did they still manage to pull off something magical, even in this cursed year and without the audience being allowed their usual bond to Miku with their chantings of support? Would a shorter concert weaken the experience? Let's find out together. The concert starts with an epic tune playing in the audience, clapping to it. Yeah, not cheering this time, very weird indeed. The stage layout is different, with the big top screen being replaced with a smaller one, but more vertical screens on the sides on top of the two side monitors. The Vocaloid area seems to be smaller too this time around. Snow effects are being shown fitting the Tokyo theme, and music intensifies as Miku announces this final concert. The light show is nice and the standard meter into place, introducing all the characters and ending on Miku. It might not be quite as all out as usual, but hey, it's Magical Mirai. Let's go. A kick-ass new addition right away, Taioke Disco. Miku appears in her regular Sega model, even though this is a brand new song. This concert kicks off with a very upbeat song that normally would get the crowd cheering loudly. A big shame, and I will try not to mention it over and over, just how it was for this year. Anyway, amazing song with nice supporting space theme designs all over the screens. Miku's up and down dance moves before the chorus are super cute, and the chorus itself would be an amazing sing-along. At least everybody got to go left and right as the screen fills the silly lyrics. A great way to start a concert, with the only fault being, it's 2020. The next song is Hyper Reality Show, which follows the trend of recent years, sometimes bringing a song to the big stage at Magical Mirai after previously having been introduced at a Miku Expo. In this case, a heavy song that is worthy of being here, and especially great seeing the band so close to Miku. Some of you might remember I love that stuff. This being the second song means the editor shows more of the band in general. It's the same as previous years except for MacMe missing for the first time since 2015. The keyboardist was pregnant and couldn't perform, but we get some fine replacements for both Osaka and Tokyo. Miku sings the song in both her usual voice but also an unusually deep one in parts, really cool. The second verse shows Miku performing a really nice pose. I like it a lot. In general, does Miku seem more mature performing this, and knows what she's doing. After all, Miku can portray all kinds of personas perfectly. We even get a super low singing, a signature tuning of Utsup who made the song, a first for an official live concert. A really worthy performance for Mirai, also showing what would be the closest to Miku headbanging. And just look at those two together, Angela's-san really is so much into it and I love it. Why? This one is interesting. First of all, they're back to the new concert model they introduced in 2019 and improved it a bit. It is nice, but I still think something is a bit off, and I tend to preferring the Sega one. But what's new is them experimenting with AR technology for the recording, meaning we get to see angles that would have normally not been possible, like from the sides or even facing the stage. Interesting for sure, even if not 100% refined yet. The song is an upbeat one with a bit less energy. Well, it is groovy for sure. It's nice seeing the audience there like, at least the event still happened. I really do miss it. The performance shows some new dance moves, including one that I know absolutely nothing about, or was just told it was a thing apparently. The song ends with more bonding of Miku and the audience, moving left and right together. Miku remains in her new self and wishes everybody good evening, not waiting for a reply this time around for obvious reasons. Miku seems overly happy announcing this as the last concert, after which she makes a quick comment on how nice it is being there together after people couldn't see each other for a while. Well, at least for them it was true. Always great hearing Miku talking, an important part of the experience. Also, thanks so much for the heart, Miku. I needed that. See what I mean? I don't get their plan. Back to a completely new song, Shabon, but the old model. This one with Miku in a costume from Pertiva X, and the start of a theme for the song showing us more costumes of that game for the first time live, as well as some of its songs. Nice to see, as it had lots of good ones. This one is very adult, and you can really see just how thin Miku really is. The drummer shows off some of his dexterity, guess the song is easy to play. Nice how we get yet another completely different vibe from this popular song, and great in general they keep introducing new ones all the time, as well as all kinds of genres. The complementing colors of red and blue work nicely for this, and I enjoy seeing Miku dance gracefully to the groovy solo. Just before the final chorus, bubbles get sprayed all over the stage, an effect never seen before. It gives the final all-out chorus just a little bit more power. Great addition with a cool effect, appropriate for a song translating to soap. Another amazing addition, or rather, an absolute highlight. Gimme Gimme. Rin-chan joins Miku on stage for a completely new song, never seen before even in the games. Rin sings the majority of the song, while both of them once again perform a quite adult looking dance. I especially love how Miku kind of picks up Rin's head at some point with her fingers. The costume for Rin is Ryo's from Moretto Johto, whereas Miku's hasn't been seen live before, both originally being from the cool medley from Diva X. This song features more unusually deep singing and has Miku's cool solo in the second verse. The chorus is superb, and you know what? No cheering doesn't even matter for this one. It's not that kind of song where there would have been any of those parts anyway. I would love to see this performed live again. I would think that's pretty likely to return. There's a nice pose of the two of them together before the solo, as the lights are rotating around the stage, stressing the mood even more. Outstanding song, good costume choice, all around perfect and not even any loss considering it's 2020. It ends with a kiss. Kaito's turn, even he gets a new one, Mikaboshi. It's one of those slow heavy songs. I really think it rocks and fits Kaito's voice well, but I think I can see some people not getting excited for this kind of song. Kaito is wearing some discreet clothes all in black and white while playing the guitar. The interlude transitions into a part focused on his voice perfectly. I really like it here. Please, no making fun of Kaito. It ends with a really nice drawn out note in the end. The song concludes with another more powerful chorus. Overall, a pleasant song and a nice addition for him. Here's wondering what they will bring back and introduce new for his anniversary this year. It was confirmed they will focus on him next. One of my bets? Hikyo Sendai Urotanda. Next is this year's contest winner, a tradition since 2017 now. Madui Unabada, I have to admit, is a song I feel about almost exactly the same as last year's winner. It's a pleasant song, don't get me wrong, and Miku's singing is always heavenly, especially in serene songs like this. But while it has a nice chorus, it is just nothing special. I have to say, the low point of the concert, which is saying a lot again, since I still enjoy the song and how gently Miku moves around in it. The song ends with clapping and Miku announcing that it's time for Meiko. Yes, quite hard to believe, but the rich and Krypton Vocaloid Meiko celebrates her 15th anniversary. The stage is all in red as a relaxing tune builds up this moment, the crowd clapping for her. Thank you for all your nice songs too, Meiko-san. Let's celebrate you, even if your anniversary fell into this unfortunate year. Meiko's first one to kick the celebration off is a classic that was different for all the concert days. Unlike previous reviews, I won't talk about the other days until after I'm done with the main concert, so let's get to the main event. Bokyaku Shinju, that was first performed at Mira 2017. Rock songs like this really work wonders with her deeper voice, and the sexy but yet elegant costume fits her superbly too. The powerful chorus makes this one more than worthy to be brought back, as well as the solo, even if it is dearly missing the typical cheering this part. It's for that reason I will never be able to include this year's versions of songs like this in my personal favorite Miku concert mix. Anyway, kick a song. Go Mei-san! Here we go, new song! I was very happy to see this. I've wanted and expected Amazing Dolls live for years. This really is the year of Project Diva X revival, both in outfits and songs for some reason, and it makes sense for this one to be finally played for this occasion. It's a fast and moody song with erratic speed changes. Miku is joined by her little co-assistant and Len, who both take a backseat in this concert this year around, especially Len. The song just grooves so much and gives Miku time to shine, singing with such cute support, who also gets some singing parts. Their dance moves show the unexpectedly high struggle involved in making sweets. All of them sing back and forth before they engage in a dance-off while their solo plays, ending with Miku shaking her boobs along with a fitting noise. I'm not the pervert here. Well, about time this one was finally played. The problem of the concert makers gets bigger each year, with so many songs that need to return the next year because of their awesomeness. Especially since so many people couldn't make it for this one. I'm sure it was even more difficult this year because of the shorter concerts on top. And then they still need to keep introducing new songs. The last few years, they sure have delivered on that front. Good job! Miku got her own anniversary song for the event, Kimi to Boku no Resonance, and it's a nice one. Nothing super special like Luca got in 2019 together with Miku and the twins got the year before, but nevertheless one complimenting her voice well. It is so nice seeing all those illustrations sharing feelings for Miku on the screens. The song builds up to a faster chorus, climaxing with an amazing scream sung by Miku. I have quite a soft spot for it. I wish we could have all been there to celebrate her, she deserves it too, but I'm happy that at least the fans they were able to for us, even if her year was more quiet than usual. Miku shows off her amazing dancing while Angelo, tonight with an interesting bow tie, nails his guitar solo. The final chorus comes with yet another example of Miku singing excellence in a higher key. After the song, she even gets to speak. Only the twins didn't get to for their anniversaries. She says how happy she is singing for all of us, how she loves singing and will continue to do so as long as people are there to enjoy her voice. She then announces the end of her segment. Thanks so much, Mei-san. It's always weird going back to so little presence of a vocaloid a year after the anniversary. It's Luca's only appearance for 2020 with Kansensei Complex. The song is an emotional reminder that nobody has to be perfect, it's okay being the way you are. It's yet another one of these picks some people might shrug off as boring, and I am not one of those. The song starts slowly as the crowd move to it with their now pink glow sticks, but picks up more energy when more instruments are added. In an interlude, Luca performs some pirouettes followed by a singing solo. Many songs are structured like that, aren't they? Following the formula, we also get a final chorus with the most energy. Just a very pleasant song, even if this is the only one Luca got this year. Is it okay to be the way you are? The conclusion in the end? It is! The band we all know and love get the introductions. Another intense beat play, similar to how they handled it the last few years. Camacho seems happy enough getting some attention. Chloe became a regular by now and knows how to rock too, even if she is especially sad about the ban of cheering this year, as heard on an interview of the bonus disc. Now Nishimura as the Tokyo keyboardist also did a great job too, as she plays a solo on her amazing Miku-themed portable keyboard. The most senior member, Misawa-san, is also as good as always, just leaving the member that usually stands out the most. Tedamae-san seems to be having lots of fun as always. The beat intensifies and it's time for the shout out from Miku! Or so it would be. I would be pretty upset about this missing usually, but I guess it just was not possible that year given the rules and all. Quite sad to miss this crucial part as we transition into the next song. The main concert surprisingly brings back this Miku classic together with its old concert model. Albino, being one of the first Miku songs I ever listened to, is performed in an updated version in its Miku tuning, a very welcome addition to Mirai. I am very pleased with all classics like this being resurrected bit and bit every year. The song sounds epic, for lack of a better word, especially once it transitions into the solo, the crowd cheering for Miku loudly in their hearts. And there they are, Miku's wings, just when she sings about them, like back in 2012. Happy for this one! Another one of those classics! Hatsune Miku no Gekusho was in fact never played at a Magical Mirai ever before either, only at some past Miku Expo shows instead in recent years. Speaking of which, I'm of course aware of the free online expo happening in June, and while I'm excited for it and will happily watch it, it's just not nearly the same as being there. Anyway, this song, I have always loved it, a synonym of what Miku stands for me, a serene instrumental build-up before Miku starts nailing the song, starting out easy but soon conquering the fastest singing this one is known for. The highlight of course being the absolutely inhuman singing speed achieved in the finale, during which Miku lifts off with big angel wings towering over the audience. I love this image every single time, and the smoke effects fit this nicely too. Luckily, another song where the missing cheering didn't even matter, and a true Kami-kyoku in its most direct meaning. Miku is the Kami and always will be. The shorter classic section is already over because of the concert runtime, and it's time for the second absolute highlight of the concert. This new edition being Kimipedia, a song originally from the Twins Anniversary 3D and made by Chunky, not only is super cute and amazing overall, it also introduces the Kagaminis in their all new Krypton-made model. And I have to say, as much as I'm still unsure about my opinion on the Miku one, these ones, just perfect. Lin-chan is super cute, Lenkon particularly handsome. This again gave the editors a chance for more of those unique camera angles. So I already said the song was cute, has been a favorite of mine ever since it came out 3 years ago. On top, the dancing too portrays the story of this so well. A constant back and forth of playful demands to start with, including warnings to only have eyes for each other, and just the cutest thing ever when Rin-chan turns absolute tsundere, responding to Len's statement of his love, Suki, with Kirai, dislike instead, finally giving up with a cute embarrassed baka. Just perfect from start to finish. To prove this point, this is the first song I had to replay while taking notes because of its sheer amount of noteworthy scenes, like Len patting it in on the head, and of course the two of them dancing together at the end of the songs in unison. They are just perfect together. What an addition. Even this cursed year's concert does not slow down at all with new stellar additions. Seka being a very recent song by none other than Deku Nina, which is a very powerful song with a hopeful message. Miku's tuning was nailed as always, especially when she sings the great chorus, stressing how she wants to sing and dance more than anything else. How on earth does the producer manage to release hit after hit for Miku to sing? The energy and pure nature of the song gives me hope for all of us meeting again, being reunited to cheer for Miku at the venues in Japan again soon. And oh, do I even have to mention my love for the parts focused on Miku singing only? By now, you all ought to know. Wait, what again? Hand in Hand, especially being chosen as the final concert song in this variable slot and on top in 2020 with no cheering, the very thing making the song special live? Well, let's back up a bit. Yes, other concerts had different picks, all being past theme songs except for Suna no Waxei, assumingly because of its different vibe. All arguably songs I like better than this. And yet they still picked this one as the final pick. So, am I sick of the song? Actually no, this song just refuses to die, and I do understand people getting tired of hearing it over and over again in the concerts, as Shake It used to be. I personally though took a curve from loving the song originally to getting annoyed at it, and now I'm just happy hearing it. Still even is on my recent playlist a lot. Sure, I love the other theme songs more right now. And yes, this year it wasn't as good because of the lack of cheering, but man, it is still hand in hand, a celebration of Miku and her fandom, and maybe it just needed to be heard especially at this concert. Something noteworthy. Prior to the event, everybody worldwide was able to send in videos of themselves cheering for Miku, with some of those clips being displayed at the concert for Hand in Hand, and songs in its slot on other days in parts that usually have the crowd cheering. I too sent in one, but was not lucky enough being on the Blu-ray. After all, on top of me being picked, which it just might have been, there was the matter of what shots were shown for the Blu-ray. This is my quick clip anyway. I hope I was still there in spirit for Miku at those venues I love so much, just don't have any proof of it. Still a nice idea for this year, but I think they should have included all clips for the Blu-ray extras. Anyway, I should have said a lot. For a song I've covered so much in the past already. This is just the Magical Mirai song I suppose. One of the band is tired of it? I know, I get it. The editors just chose to show cute girls instead of me. And dogs? Come on! Am I bitter? Yes, I am. This is the part where people get a short breather and then usually shout Miku together, calling for the encore. Because of the rules in place, people join in clapping instead, while wintry chimes sound for the Tokyo concert at least. Despite everything, I'm glad Miku got celebrated at all even in 2020. Poka Poka no Hoshi starts off the shorter encore section and was played at the Tokyo concert exclusively. The reason is obvious, considering Tokyo was themed around winter, so the first ever crossover with Snow Miku made sense. With a song that was in fact never played live before, even in Snow Miku's concerts. A very gentle intro sounds before Miku appears sitting on a chair in an amazing wintry costume. She remains sitting for the entire song, moving ever so gently to the rhythm of the song, singing with her heavenly voice. This is just cuteness overload of our angel Miku. I guess she doesn't even have to get up on her feet to be amazing at all. Midway through the song, Snow Miku's mascot Yukine appears, soaring through the air surrounding Miku. Then, both of them take out some sort of French horn for a brief solo. The song ends with Snowfall supporting its final chorus, Miku waving and Yukon is sitting on Miku's lap. Just wow. Miku thanks the audience for coming and announces the final song, which of course is the event's theme song, Aisare Nakutemo Kimi ga Iru. The Winter Festival has Miku in her fitting costume designed for the event. I love this song, even if it feels so bittersweet. The first meetup since 2013 I am missing this entire terrible situation. No cheering allowed, limited audience, but nevertheless, Miku singing this wonderful song, reminding that she will always be there as long as there are people who love her. I will for sure, no matter what, do just that, even if I won't be able to attend events anymore in the future. But the desire to do so sure is massive, nothing has changed for me. I love the song's verses just as much as the chorus, it just about makes me cry every time I'm listening to it. The colorful light show and the cute drawing of Miku and her name on the wall of the venue on top. Then, the slow part. When everything seems lost, Miku understands that as long as people cheer for her, it will be okay. Such a dedicated fandom loves her. She will always be there. What follows is the finale, also no doubt including the part that normally would see the release of Confetti as a final celebration of Miku in a very strange year for Magical Mirai. It was still magical even then. Even then, Miku nails the performance. After the final song, Miku reminds everybody that she loves us. So cute. She disappears, together with the light boss representing the other Krypton Vocaloids. But this was the final concert. Will they even confirm the next year, even given the situation, as they have the years before? After a brief pause, the wait is over and here it is. Yukine appears and reveals that yes indeed, Miku will be back for Magical Mirai in 2021. I was ecstatic when that happened in the end of 2019, with the uncertainty of Mirai due to the Olympics originally planned that year, and we all know how that turned out. But even so, there's still some hope now. After an unusually long stretch of no news, just a few days ago it was confirmed that Kaito will get some focus, the event's theme will be a fairy tale fantasy, and have a theme song made by Cosmo. Just please, let it be possible to enter Japan by then. After all, the announcement of yet another split event of Osaka and Tokyo, and the dates being in October or November unusually late, definitely spells out the hope of foreigners being allowed to enter Japan so late in the year. So while it's still uncertain, there is hope. Being there is just the best. And I love it so much. But I feel my viewers know that already. And yes, I did hear it. Many people feel strongly about the events, so you can clearly actually hear some fans with some gasps of happiness due to this announcement in the venue, briefly not being able holding themselves back. Truly makes me smile. Anyway, this concludes Magical Mirai 2020. I'm glad it was still possible to be held and to have a recording of it in my hands. Even if there were many sacrifices and large amounts of fans, especially overseas, got to miss out. Hope that will be never necessary ever again. Miku is all about connecting people. The credits roll with the instrumental version of the theme song as usual. Before my verdict though, let's get to the day's exclusive song, starting with the one Tokyo got. I will try to be more brief about songs I've already covered in the past. To find out more, please check out my other concert reviews. Let's get back into concert action. One of Meiko's classic songs for the other days was Ramunade Blue Showcase, a nice addition of 2019. Just like the main choice, a good showcase of her voice and on top, a nice wintry costume. Could have just as well been the last concert song, even if I preferred that choice just a bit more myself. The remaining Tokyo one. They did play the same setlist on the 3 different shows of each day. Piano for the Scandal saw a return, a very jazzy song that I used to not like very much. And while I still prefer the other choices, it's a classic song and definitely has its appeal. I especially like the 2 instrumentals a lot, giving Meiko a chance showing off more of her dance skills too. Though you might argue this being almost more of a stage set for the new keyboardist instead. The short Miku Classic section has this Miku Pajam so make a welcome return, even in a refined version of the vocals. I have to say, it is odd seeing this one at Mirai after having been introduced to it all these years ago at 2012 Mikupa. I definitely still love it lots. A very fast song that needs to be on every single Miku fan's playlist. The highlight live still remains our angel being chased by the spotlight. Just a great live song. I have to say I'm surprised this one wasn't their pick for the final concert. Wobaka's last song, Unknown Mother Goose, returns, not without changing up things. It starts with a very cool extended instrumental, perfectly transitioned to from the band member introduction. Miku even plays along on guitar in a clever display to promote this very model. The song is just really nice and yet another cool moment of more closeness between Miku and the guitarist, really selling the idea of all of them performing together. The song itself is really cool, more details as I said on past reviews though, especially when a song was first introduced, in this case Mira 2018. Gotta move on. Greenlight Serenade is a song I love so much and yet an extreme example of one that is so sad to see live with the audience forced to being quiet. For the theme songs, more of the fans' videos are up on the screens here as I said previously to make up for it somewhat. Songs like this just remind me so much of the amazing times of past Mirais, all of their precious memories. I miss cheering for Miku so much. Wait, I feel like I've made that point before. Still, just an amazing song and performance. Just enjoy it. Go, get the Blu-ray now, or the one for 2019. Just watch Miku live. Stop watching me review it. What, are you stupid? 2019's finale, Bless Your Breath, is almost even more bittersweet as a reminder of a magical and in general better time. And yet again, sad nobody can join in Miku's singing, already having to hold back. Another wonderful song in costume, capturing the spirit of a Magical Mirai past. I want to hear it again in better times. Just thank you, Miku. All of the following songs were performed in Osaka only and are found on the bonus disc, starting with the opening, which was different enough to be included. After all, this was a summer festival in spirit, so even if the intro was similar, it had symbols of Japanese festivals on screens. For this one on top, Meiko announced the star of the concert. The other ones made it in a separate bonus feature. This Mirai classic of Meiko was played in Osaka only as her first song, Nostalgic. Can I really say anything about this wonderfully powerful song Meiko sings with all her might I haven't said before? Of course wearing the fantastic and sexy costume we all know and love. Is it comfy to wear? A classic one from even older days was played at Osaka's final concert, the only one that was also streamed, Change Me. Meiko and her Kansai model, the only past model still missing I guess, in a nice evening dress. She definitely would be the center of everybody's attention singing and dancing like this anywhere she goes. No matter how old the song is, it's still a burner. As long as you bring back classics in moderation, it's great. And Meiko sure likes using her womanly appeal. I'm surprised this one wasn't played at the main concert. After all, bringing back Himitsu Keisatsu means having a song filled to the max with energy in that Magical Mirai for the first time. This one just makes the crowd moving, cheering or not cheering. Wonder why they never made Miku wear the appropriate and particular F costume for this one. Miku sure is in control here and every time I listen to it, I just can't help but to sing along. Asakara ban mare omae o miru! The theme song section had Sangi music in addition to Hand in Hand for Osaka. It is just literally the perfect live song about Miku culture. Cute singing, dancing and kick-ass bassline especially. Junbi okay? Alright, a song I have to cover in a bit more detail. After all, Inochi ni Kirawareteiru is a new one. What, on the bonus disc only? Yes! Osaka exclusively got this one instead of the Snow Miku song that wouldn't have fit the summer theme Osaka was going for obviously. Unique situation and heavy theming again too. Miku sings about just how difficult living is and almost wants to give up on it, a bit similar to Luca's song earlier. In the end she also decides to just press on, that in spite of everything, it is worth it to just live, making the most of it. Sure, it hits hard, especially in this year. This is one of those songs that started slow and then gradually get more intense later on. Miku gently begins singing about this heavy topic and transitions nicely into the chorus. Hated by life itself? Music definitely can help when you're down, especially when sung by Miku. What a powerful and wonderful song, which gets real explosive near the end. Everybody, listen to Miku and keep it up! I am also talking to myself here. Miku can and does help. Anyway, hard to believe that this song can only be found on the bonus disc. The last thing to briefly cover before the verdict is the performance of the theme song in Osaka. Without commenting on the performances is the same, I will just go over the two differences, being the Miku logo and name projected on the ceiling, which makes it even more special, and of course the summer costume. I love it even more, it's perfect! So yeah, my pick would be the Osaka outfit, with the highlight being its lower 10%. we have finally arrived at my infamously super long verdict. I will try to make it short. Now that I gave you all the background information on the event, went over the Blu-ray packaging and its extras, as well as of course the entire concert, let's discuss the separate aspects systematically. The stage setup was changed a bit and the vocal area made smaller, but I guess the latter didn't matter much. A welcome change to mix things up from previous years, and it was nice how we got a bit more intimacy between Miku and the band. The light show managed to support the mood of every song perfectly again too, and they even added some all new effects this time around. The crispness of the console model was I'd say unchanged, but they did tweak Miku's new model a bit and introduced ones for Disneyland Land for the first time. While I hope they improve Miku's even a slightly bit more in the future, I'd say the twins are perfect already, and I'm excited to see if they also make new models for the other ones going forward too. I still think it takes you a bit out of the experience that they keep mixing between all the new models, not only with the Sega and the new one, but even on top, still using the Miku and Conchester ones. Probably way too much effort implementing old songs with new models, I assume. The band showed a very energetic performance as always, with Tada my son being the one showing the most enthusiasm, which adds to the experience. The new keyboardist did a great job, but I do hope Megumi will return again. Miku's speaking parts are always super important in my opinion, and while they were neat, there wasn't anything super special like some years prior. I almost wished she would have said even more about the situation in 2020, but at least she said Daisuki at the end, but it could have been more. I still think Miku's talking is cuter in her Sega model. Okay, the setlist. After I crowned the previous year 2019 my new favorite, I can say that even in this situation, they did not disappoint. Sure, it's not another favorite setlist, but they still came pretty darn close, still having setlist changes, even between the two cities, bringing us some old and plenty of new stuff. The theme song is amazing even if it couldn't live up to its potential, the Mako one was nice and the contest winner, once again an okay addition at least. They really got the hang of making setlists and I'm always super excited which classics they bring back while having plenty of new exciting additions. Mako's part in general was really nice, having one variable song, a new one and her theme song was a really good mix. I'm glad she got her celebration, wonder if she would have gotten even more songs if it wasn't for the shorter concert. Which was a shame in general, 90 minutes is just too short for a Miku gig, but for what they had to work with this year, they still sure made the most of that. The editing was just fine and showed a good mix of the Vocaloids, the band and the audience. I can't say anything bad about the general audio quality of the Blu-ray, but let's talk about the smoking gun for the final time. The biggest problem in my opinion, just as someone watching back the Blu-ray, is the missing cheers. In the past I've complained about the audio mix making the cheering sound quiet as they were, but them just missing just takes away from the experience. But this year it is just the way it was, and the Blu-ray is not at fault obviously. This part kind of missing makes it difficult forgetting about the circumstances of this year in my opinion. Regardless, I'd say the venue doesn't even look that empty with its 50% capacity, and the crowd still was into it as much as you could have been while being quiet. Just compare this to how the concert felt in 2019 though. Looking forward to seeing some of these new songs with the proper cheering. So what can you say? They have done well given this situation. It was very sad there were so many restrictions for both the expo and the concerts, but the result is still more than enjoyable and I'm sure being there was still great. Oh yeah, and the ending announcement? I would be ecstatic as usual about the confirmation. I'm still just a bit worried about whether or not it will be possible as a foreigner and also I just wish cheering will be allowed. I hope it can go back to normal. On top, my personal situation might make it impossible for a while going to Japan at all, but you know me and what this all means to me, so I will certainly try. Mida 2021 being confirmed definitely gives me hope. So how would I rank this concert compared to the other ones I reviewed? Which you should totally check out too by the way. This is a tough one. What they have delivered was fantastic and would probably rate it just between Mida 2016 and 2012's Mikupa, even with the shorter setlist. The quality of it was just that good. But I just cannot ignore the circumstances. It's not a punishment, I just can't change how I feel about it. So my real ranking will have it further down, just behind Mida 2017, mainly because of the missing cheering. There you go then, this is it for this review of a most unusual Magical Mirai. I know I like repeating some points that are important to me, but I have said all I want to already. They have done well. And let us just hope for the best in the short-term future. This event was still a very good one. You might say that even then, Magical Mirai was still magical.
Yeah, so as you can see by my verdict, I still think they did a pretty darn good job, especially regarding the situation for this Magical Mirai. It was still magical, was very weird and sad though anyway, not being able to attend many of us, so let's just hope for the best for the future, so we can all be there again. I don't know if I can personally, that's beside the question though. Was still a great Magical Mirai. So thank you for making it to the end of this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe and also share with your friends. I'll keep making videos when the time comes. Anyway, let's hope for the best, that's all I can really say, and I know I'm repeating myself. I love doing that. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for checking out my newest video, and of course, even in these times, especially in these times, have a nice Miku day.